Hey, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Catch That. I am Naturally Elise, and that's my brother.
JR.
And we are the R&B representatives. Today, we are welcoming back a person that we love to talk to. We love his musical mind, his humor, his insight. And that is the good brother, Mr. Adam Rodriguez. Hello.
Hello, thank you very much. Glad to be back. Very, very glad to be back.
We are glad to have you. Yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So, for folks who might not have seen you before, how about you tell us a little bit or a lot about yourself?
Okay, let's if I have the choice, I'm gonna go with a little bit. You know what I'll start with. Okay, so the first thing I did with Catch That was a mini, Darling Dear with Jackson 5. Still love that song. That was a lot of fun. And I had so much fun, and you guys were gracious enough to invite me back, that then I got to do Talking Book, which
Woo!
was really, really wonderful. So that was great. That was really, really great. I got to do a little bit of Motown, a whole lot of Motown actually. But I am a musician sort of on the side. I'm not a professional in any sense at all. I've been playing bass for most of my life and started playing trumpet about a year or two ago. So I'm a beginner on that with you, Elise. We are on a journey, a musical journey together, which I am enjoying very much. But nah, just I absolutely adore R&B, and the fact that you both are doing this and promoting these albums and talking about them in depth and exploring all these different parts of it and making connections between different songs and albums and artists and producers is so much fun. So for me to be able to be here and share a little bit about the albums I love, nah, that's really great. This is a good day for me.
Yay. So, JR, how about you tell folks what album we're going to be talking about today that Adam picked, and why do you think it's important to talk about it?
Okay, so today, y'all, we will be discussing Raphael Saadiq's Jimmy Lee. Now, we are Raphael Saadiq fans here, for real, because we did a Raphael Saadiq like tribute to him when we were on Instagram Live when Instagram Live was good. Then after that, we did our first catch that talking about Raphael when we did Tony, Sons of Soul. Then we talked about Ask of You with Rel. Then we talked about Ray with Dart Adams. And so now, and then we talked about The Way I See It with Kamani.
And episode it ain't out yet, and we talked about Lucy Pearl.
Yes.
I was gonna say,
So we're diehard Raphael Sadiq fans here. So really, in his catalog, we got two more to talk about, which anybody can come on to talk about. We're here. So this is exciting. I'm so hyped to talk about this. I don't think a lot of people really even talked about the Jimmy Lee album because when it came out in August of 2019, what happened? COVID happened after that. So it was like everything just went left. You know what I mean? And I think maybe that's why the album also really wasn't discussed. But we're here at the R&B Representatives. We will definitely discuss it and have a good conversation about it. So getting into this, y'all. So obviously he did the Storm Rolling album, which after that, he started working with everybody, with Solange, with Mary, with Jasmine Sullivan, and all of that. So in 2019, I was hearing that he was actually about to come out with this new album because he hasn't come out with an album in what was it, 7, 8 years. So I was like, oh, I am hyped for this Raphael Sadiq project. So then I heard Something Keeps Calling. So when you guys heard that as the first single, what did you think?
I didn't hear it as a single.
Really?
Me
No, when
neither.
I knew that Raphael Saadiq dropped an album, I just bought the album.
Okay, so it was just me hearing the single thing.
No, when Saadiq drops an album, I buy the album. I don't
Oh
ask
yeah, that's me
questions. I
too.
just go to the store, I buy that, and I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna listen to it.
You know
Yeah.
what's so crazy? It's probably the last maybe 3 or 4 years I've been into like really going into singles because I'm like you, Adam, and I'm like Elise. If I hear my artist is coming out, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna go get the album and that's it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I'm gonna listen to it as a whole body of work. But me being hype with Raphael Saadiq came out, and when I heard Something Keeps Calling, I was like, is he giving me Storm Rolling a little bit? I was like, are we back with that again? I was
Mm-hmm.
like, it had the flavor of that, and then I was like, oh yeah, it kind of gave you the old girl ish from the way
Mm-hmm.
that I see it. So I was like, I was like, okay. I was like, all right. But then when listening to it, and I was like, because one thing about Raphael, any first single he came out with, I loved it. I loved it. But this was the first time where I had to go, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, hold up. So I had to listen to it a couple of times, and I was like, okay. And then I started getting the feeling of the Isley Brothers what was it? Footsteps in the Dark flavor too. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get, stuff familiar with it because that's me. I like to hear something familiar that's gonna get me. So I was like, it's giving me that. I was like, all right, cool. And then after that, I saw Raphael start doing interviews, talking about what the album was gonna be about and all of this. And I was like, all right, I don't care. I'm getting this album. It doesn't matter to me. I'm getting it, and that's what it is. So yeah.
So with that song, I might have heard it, but what got me about that song,
Mm-hmm.
it sounded what it sounded like to me was like it sounded like some like Thundercat type, just like dun, 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 like if so I might have had heard it and thought it was somebody else at
Could have
first
been.
and didn't listen to the whole thing, maybe just
Could
heard
have
it in
been.
passing or whatever,
It
or
does,
not at
thinking
all.
about it now, it does give you that Thundercat type of vibe. It does. I didn't even think about that. So since you probably definitely did hear it, then that's what it is. You probably definitely did hear it because it was like, now that I'm thinking, they might have threw it on after a Thundercat record, and you probably was like, oh, this is Thundercat. Okay, cool. But it ended up being probably but but with that, but then when the album came out, y'all. So when y'all, the first thought after listening to the whole album, Adam, what did you get from it? What did you like about it, and all that good stuff? So you know what it is.
Okay, this was an album. This was an album that was an album, right? It wasn't a collection of singles. It wasn't, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 good tracks.
Yep.
No, this was an album. And that's what I remember. That's really the thing I remember about it. You know those albums where you can't really tell where one song begins and the other ends?
Mm-hmm.
And everything just really flows into each other really smoothly. I
Mm-hmm.
remember I remember really feeling when I put this one on for the first time, really feeling like, okay, this is something to listen to from beginning to end. This isn't I'm just gonna pop this on and find a track that I like or something like that. Now I remember listening to it, and first thing that I thought about was, okay, this is a different sound, right? Because he had done The Way I See It, he had done Stone Rollin', and I said, okay, those were his throwback, right? Motown Stax kind of, that was his old soul, and this was the neo soul. It felt like to me, this was much more aligned with like contemporary R&B sounds and neo soul sounds that I was accustomed to. So that was the first thing I thought about. Okay, he's going a different direction. And I didn't know nothing about who Jimmy Lee was at the time. I didn't know the story. I didn't know the message behind it or anything like that. It wasn't really until the second or third listen that I started to really get into what this album was and what it was about. And then it went from, okay, this is an album I like and I'm getting into. Every song takes on a different flavor now. Every song takes on a different meaning, a different weight. And I'm listening to it deeper too, to really listen to how everything comes together and everything works together. And there's a little bit of a heaviness with that as well,
Oh,
right? So it's not
yes.
just like this is fun, this is 100-yard dash or something like that, and this is I'm really enjoying this. This is a great time. This is different. This is heavier, right? I'm listening to this like I'm listening to like Sign of the Times or something like that.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? For me, when I first heard this, I was not, it didn't hit me. It didn't. And like you said, coming off the way that I see it in Stone Rolling, I was so into that and thinking that Raphael was going to give me that, but probably give me both of those together. Because the way that I see it and Stone Rolling is completely different as far as like we said, it's Motown and Stax, and then Stone Rolling is kind of like giving you more of like the early 70s, 60s, end of the 60s there. So it was different. So I'm like, okay, Raphael not giving me that. And mind you, this is actually where I first met Elise. We known each other since 2018, but 2019, Elise always, and she said it on the show so many times, and I had that in my mind. Follow your artists. Wherever they go, move with them. You trusted them any other time, trust them with this one. It took me a minute to trust Raphael because this album because I love the way that I see it even over Stone Rolling. So I'm like, what is Raphael doing with this? Then when I listened to it, the thickness of this, a lot of it took me back to instant vintage because of how thick that album was. And I had to kind of get my mind going back there because it was just like, I'm like, Raphael, I wanted 100-yard dash. I wanted, like, you know what I'm saying? Sure, you didn't mean it. I wanted that. Like, give me that. And then on Stone Rolling, I'm like, give me Move on the Line. Like, give me that. Like, I wanted that. But once I got into it, I was like, this album is very thick and it's heavy. And like you said, it's dark. And for somebody that's bluesy like me, very blue, you would think I would enjoy it off the first, but obviously my mind wasn't there then. You know what I mean? My mind wasn't there to actually listen to this. But then when I got into it, I said, okay, now I see what Raphael was doing. And now I appreciate it more. Then I was just like, Raphael, I'm hurt. My feelings is hurt. I'm not in it. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh. But now the more that I listen to it and the more I'm like, Raphael, I get it. I get it. This album is very heavy. Heavy. You know what I mean? Lyrically and all that. So now it's like, Raphael, I'm in it. It took me a minute, but I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm there. So that's how I felt. I don't know about you. How you felt, sis?
The first time I listened to it, I hated it.
Yes.
I couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
I put it away for some years, and then I went back to it, and now I still don't love it, but there's redeeming qualities. But I don't really like this album.
As honest.
Okay. I love this because I love hearing your perspective, and I think this is the point where, like, you know, two people converge or on an album or whatnot, and I love to hear what it is that you're hearing from it, and to sort of get that perspective and what about it doesn't work for you and what does, especially with an album that I really love. So that to me is kind of exciting.
You're like me. I love it when somebody doesn't love an album that I love. I'm like, oh, please, tell me why so we can really you know what I'm saying? So, but I with Raphael Saadiq's albums, this ain't at the top of my list for him, to be honest. Like, it's not. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Because I put the way that I see it up here. Like, you can't even see it. Like, I got it up there. You know what I mean? But when it comes to him, it's kind of at the lower. I got it more than Ray Ray though.
You know what? You know what? I like Ray Ray better than this album.
Oh no! Wait a minute. That says I was with you. What? Ooh,
it's okay,
and how much we gave Fever?
I'm not gonna be upset. No, we gave Fever to like half of it, and the other half we really, really enjoyed.
Wait, which one?
Right? Yeah,
Ray
we
Ray.
did it with Dart. Yeah.
No, we didn't. We didn't bash that whole album, didn't?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No. No, but I do. But I like this more than I do
The
Ray
person that
Ray.
brought the album didn't love the album, so you know. But
Oh, true. Yeah, he's right. I forgot. But yeah.
but the Ray Ray album is a little more accessible to me with my ears. Even the songs I don't like,
Right.
there's a certain structural things in songs that I like, and even on the songs I don't like on Ray Ray, it's still those pieces of songs that I need to make a song good to me
Gotcha. I
that
got you.
is missing on a lot of this album. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much time do we have? Because by the end of this, I think this will be one of your favorite albums, Elise. And you're gonna be playing
I
this on
don't.
repeat all the time. I feel like that's my job to persuade you to get you to come around. Um, so let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can
I
do.
love it. I love this. This is gonna be great. I love this. I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah. I'm just, let me spend a little bit of time just showing you why you're wrong.
good. Yeah.
And once I tell you, which I will in a second, the reason why a lot of the songs don't hit for me, it will make very much sense as to why I don't like them. If
Uh-huh.
you pay attention to songs that I like, it'll make sense to you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
in that case, let's start with a sinner's prayer. Let's just start with the first song. Okay. Um, when this started for me, I felt it was very 80s to me. Like very 80s. Like it felt like I this was gonna be like a Tears for Fears shout kind of joint right off the break. And I was just like, okay, all right, Raphael. I was like, okay. And definitely with the guitar playing from Rob Bacon, like he's playing the hell out of that guitar. You know what I mean? And it's just like the way Raphael is saying on it, God, like I'm thinking to me, that's giving me with Sam on Tears for Fears is saying, shout it out. And so for me, it was giving me very, very 80s feel. And then Tara Stinson, oh, her and Raphael, like he works great with female vocalists for real. Like he's awesome. And her backgrounds on this with them two, and it sounds very airy to me. So it and him coming off of Mighty River with Mary, hey girl. And she's on background of that. And I was like, maybe did they maybe record that after this? You know what I'm saying? After they did
Mm,
Mighty River or whatever. So
mm.
for me, it was very, airy, and I like the backgrounds on it. So it definitely gave me the 80s feel. Shout out to Chassie for interviewing Tara too. Shout out to Hey Girl. But yeah, so that's what it got me on this. It got me like the 80s feel. I was like, okay, all right, Raphael, okay. This is where we at with it. So
The intro did make me think of the thinking of a modern album that had a start like that. That's kind of associated with Raphael. On A Seat at the Table, Solange, the song Don't You Wait, it kind of opens up in a similar kind of new wavy kind of little like bare guitar, little weird little synth intro thing.
yeah.
If that made any sense, what I just said.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I got it. I got
the
it.
song Don't You Wait, it kind of starts like that, and kind of builds into another thing. So that's what it, even though Raphael didn't produce or play on that particular song, but just a close association musically with those two, it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting that they had a song kind of intro like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what'd you think, Adam? What'd you think coming into the opening of this album of yours?
I I have increasingly come to think of this album.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was talking to somebody and I said this album feels to me like I would love to see. I don't know how to describe it, like a stage performance of this album. And I'm not talking about a tour. I'm not talking about Saadiq touring on it. He did. I'm talking about this album to me feels like it's a play. Like this is a story. It feels to
Mm-hmm.
me that and this is the intro. This is the beginning. Like I could picture sort of like an operatic kind of stage performance to this album. which I think would be absolutely brilliant. And to me, this is like that first number that sort of introduces our protagonist. And so this is what I was saying before, like musically, when I think about this album, yeah, there's lots of stuff about the music that I think about, but it's not in the forefront of my mind the way it is with The Way I See It or Stone Rollin' or something like that.
Right.
This or Instant Vintage or anything else that Saadiq has done. This album feels to me different. It feels like a story, and this is like our introductory chapter. And so I find myself focusing and thinking a lot about the way that it sort of sets the tone for the album. The way you have this, it's like there's this protagonist there, right? It's like Jimmy Lee is coming out and it's a very heartfelt sort of a thing. This is anybody out there sort of a pleading, a begging kind of a feeling, the desperation behind it. I mean, it's just such an incredibly personal album. And it's such a cathartic sort of a experience, at least I would imagine. And to me, I think what really stands out about this track, The Sinner's Prayer, is this idea of Jimmy Lee sort of presenting himself, and the way that I think Raphael presents him with this idea of being a sinner in a certain context, but he's giving him humanity, he's giving him the feeling of desperation that's there. It just feels so personal that I think I get overwhelmed with that aspect of it. The begging, sort of pleading aspect to it, the desperation behind it. I get really consumed by that in it. To where, yeah, Rob Bacon comes in and the music of it is I like it. But I find myself more engrossed and enthralled with this idea that it's like Raphael is introducing us to this part of his brother, and the brother that he knows to whatever extent he knew him, right? But also more broadly, a sort of generic kind of protagonist who is struggling with addiction. And to me, I think that's the part that really stands out about this track, is the way that it has this really kind of intense growing feeling as it goes on.
Wow, the way you broke that, yeah, it does. Now looking at it, it can be like a play, and it's like you seeing the curtain open. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like,
yeah,
it's like, yes, it's like I could see a curtain opening, and you can just see like the rain and all of that, and just you just see like him, his brother, or whatever. Like oh my God, like now I'm thinking that I'm different. Thanks a lot, Adam. Already, we on one song in, and now I'm thinking I'm different now. Like,
this is how I think about it. I do think about this album as a narrative, as an unfolding narrative, whatever it is, 45 minutes or whatever it is, that sort of unfolds, kind of a one act kind of a play that introduces us, takes us through characters and a journey. And this very much is typically an introductory kind of, I can picture it, right? Like you go to a musical and you see the characters come out, they sort of introduce themselves, and you get an identification with the primary struggle of the protagonist immediately. And I think that's the way it feels to me, because so much of it is embedded in there, right? The guns aimed at him, the loaded tongues, like the lyrics to it are so evocative in that way, right? We're gonna get there. There's that spoken word essay that comes later on in it, right?
Oh, yes.
But to me, a lot of a lot of this album is kind of just a spoken word kind of experience.
Absolutely, I agree. Because damn, now I'm just lost for words now, because I didn't think it was gonna go this way, looking at it as a play, and it is, and it's like, damn. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just completely lost. Like I'm just lost. Like the way you broke, the way oh God, damn. Woo.
Well, yeah, with this song, this album, I do connect with the lyrics, the whole concept nature of it. But I'll tell y'all now, my problem with a lot of the songs musically is a lot of them are one note to me, and I don't get a crescendo or an interesting bridge.
Right.
And that's hard for me to listen to music like that. That's why it's hard for me to connect to some of the younger kids stuff, because it's just
Mm-hmm.
It's just straight
Right.
through. And I need peaks and valleys in a song. And it's only a couple songs on the album that I do get that. And those are the songs I really love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me with any artist to connect the songs that don't give me a something, you know, uh, a change in my feel musically. But I do connect to it lyrically very much so. That's kind of what kept me in the game of going back and listening to it, because I do like what it's saying.
Yes. And that's what, like Adam said, that lyrically, this album is very bold. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very bold lyrically. And he's just starting it off with just this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's coming in letting you know, I think that this album is going to be very dark. And he's letting you know that just from the break. And that's why I think this album is a body of work of lyrics to me. And that's what you focus on a lot. And like you said, Adam, with the albums before then, we're so focused on the production and of it. And even though, don't get me wrong, he's Raphael Saadiq is still one of my favorite songwriters, period. But when it comes to this album, you really not paying, even so some songs, because some songs is weird, but it's like,
you know, JR, I like the weird and the weird sound, especially in 2019. That's when I was on that. It's not the sounds, it's how it's the structure of this. It's the arrangement. It's not the sounds. I like those sounds. I like Sinner's Prayer. I like that 80 synth new wave stuff. I love that shit. That's half of what I listen to right now. Is I like all the weird when we get down, like the distortion and all. I love that stuff. We've talked about other stuff, and I'm like, I love that. It's not that. It's just it's the structure of the songs. There's just no peaks and valleys for a lot of the songs, and so that's what gets me. But I like the weird, different. That's why I was excited actually when I first listened to the album to listen to it, because of all that sonic weirdness, strangeness. Like I like that shit. So
right. I get it.
I really love that you bring this up, Elise, because I get that. I really, really get that. And I'm with you. I am not a fan of a lot of current music that is one note, no bridge, no intro. They're 2 minutes long. It's the same kind of thing throughout. And that's what this album does repeatedly. And I get that, and I'm not usually a fan of that at all. And one of the things, so as I was listening to it, one of the things that I noticed immediately with it, right, was the transition between songs, how there really wasn't one, how a lot of times the song kind of abruptly ends, and goes on to the next one. And sometimes it's got like that little thing of static, like you're changing the channel or something. The way I began to experience this, okay, so what I didn't mention in my intro is my primary gig, I'm a psychologist. So I'm going to get a little esoteric for
okay, then go ahead.
Go on.
What I do. So Saadiq lost 4 siblings young, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Lee was one of them. Jimmy Lee was one of them. And he tells stories about this in interviews, right? And some of them are pretty disturbing. But he lost 4 siblings young. Out of, I think, what? He had like 13, he was one of 13 or something like that. But nonetheless, 4 siblings young, right? Living in Oakland. And what I began to know, right? So, okay, as a psychologist, there's certain writers I love because one of the things that they do is not only do the words that they write about in their texts try and demonstrate some sort of a point, but the way that they write them subjectively conveys that experience to the reader, if that makes sense, right? And one thing that I feel about this album, like especially if you think about Glory to the Veins, right? The way that Glory to the Veins, he's beginning to vamp right at the end, and the piano's doing this wonderful sort of arpeggiation sort of a thing, and then boom, it's done.
It cuts off. And
just like Jimmy Lee's life was. This is my point. That I think he's doing something. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't think it's probably like consciously like, oh, I'm gonna do this. but I feel like
No,
it creates.
it probably is intentional, actually.
You think
If you
so?
think about Raphael and him making this ain't his first concept album, so he's, you know, like
Right, right.
I could dare to say that all of them are, except maybe one, a concept album, but you know.
True. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
But yeah.
think you get that experience of things ending abruptly and ending too soon. And if there's a message behind this album, I feel like that's a big part of it. That things don't get to Jimmy Lee didn't get to live the rest of his life. Alvy didn't get to live the rest of right. All of these siblings didn't get to go through. So we get these little snippets. We get these little chunks of something that's left kind of incomplete, or undone. At least that's the way I experience it. Maybe I'm reaching. I don't necessarily know, but it's something that I kind of dig about it. That because I'm with you. I want a song. Look, I'm a Stevie Wonder fan. If a song is under 10 minutes, I don't want to mess with it, right? That song needs to go on. I like jazz and Stevie Wonder. So, song comes in at 9 minutes. I'm like, is that the radio edit? So for this album to have a bunch of 2 minute songs and the Dottie interlude, we'll get to that. What the hell is that? Right. But for this song to have a bunch of 2 minutes, for this album to have a bunch of 2 minute songs, normally I wouldn't like that now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, y'all breaking this down. Did it? I love this already. We only on track one. I love this. I said this is awesome. Oh God. So, all right. So we get into So Ready. When I heard this, because I heard as a single because I talked about it on Current R&B Bangers. I love this record. I love this record. It's like it's taking you to the disco. It's a jam. It's giving me 70 Stevie with synthesizers out the ass. Like, for real, for real. And it's just like, and then the way Raphael, because I love when he plays the bass. And I know when Raphael is playing the bass, I know it's him. That's how much of a fan I am of his. So when I heard this, and when they put it out, and I heard it, the first thing I was like, "This is Raphael." I know this is him. And the beat came in, and I was like, "So ready." I was like, "Ah!" I was like, "I'm here." I was like, I could see myself going down Soul Train line on this joint, all that. And now that you said that this was kind of like a play. Now I think he had to give us this because he like, y'all, we gonna get heavy. Like, I'm opening, letting you know, like, yo, this is the sinner's prayer. Now we're going down to So Ready because I gotta get y'all a little bit because after this, I'm hitting you hard. Lyrically, I'm about to have you think. I'm about to have you really. And like you said, Jimmy couldn't live his life like that. And, his brother that died of AIDS couldn't. Like, just it's just, but this song to me is a groove and I love it. I love it. This is a jam for me.
Yeah, this like when I said, Jared, can you guess what my favorite song on the album is? He in 2 seconds he says already. Yes. This
Okay.
sounds like an elite song. It's like a house joint.
Yeah.
But I will argue with JR. Sonically, it's not heavy, but it lyrically is heavy. It's not a happy song. Look at the
This
lyrics.
one's heavy.
It's heavy. It's just sonically. It's like Harry Melvin the Blue Notes. We just dancing and crying, dancing and crying.
That's exactly what it is. Yep. And that's
we
probably
like
the song that I didn't listen to. That's the song that I didn't really listen to lyrically at first because I was so into the production of it.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm so into the production, it got me. So I'm dancing. And then now, like, again, now me appreciating the album more, I was like, yeah, this is heavy. Like, this is heavy. This is
the
heavy.
last line is, "Can someone heal my soul? I'm losing all control. My love will never change." And towards the end of it, the music kind of changed and stuff starts kind of distorting. Like, this song is very interesting to me. It's like it does different things. It's got a bop to it, whatever. So musically, this is my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
Like, for my ears.
All right, and now our character, see, I keep going here in my head. So our character comes out, right? And there's the struggle and the desperation and the begging and the pleading. And this one, to me, has much more of the guilt and the helplessness in there. that feeling of like, you know, I am doing wrong and I can't control it, right? This is taking over me. This is something that is too big. I am so ready for whatever it is, to change, to stop, to make something different out of my life. But, you know, as you said, I'm losing all control, right? I'm still out here lying, but inside I'm dying. Like this feeling of, you know, then I broke your heart. This feeling of enormous guilt and desperation, and the helplessness. I just, for me, when I listen to this, I can't help but hear the story with the music behind it to sort of support it and give it flavor. But to me, they come together. And so even the end of it with that little arpeggiation on the piano, the three notes that the piano does before it, before it just like boom and stops, is this light little thing that creates this absolutely amazing transition to, and the bass drum in this one is so forward in the song, right? It's so pounding, like a heartbeat pounding, and then it goes into a much lighter sort of not lyrically but musically, this lighter sort of the world is drunk kind of a feel.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Damn, y'all.
I'm probably just going to be a shrink for most of this because I listen to this album. Yeah. I think that's going to be my angle. Like last time I talked to y'all, I was like, oh man, when Stevie hits that F sharp, no, this one to me.
We contain multitudes. Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Yes. That's right. That is right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go into The World is Drunk.
Ain't it though?
Ain't it?
Says,
now this
says the bartender.
This song is what I think is beautifully dark to me, right? And shout out to Dylon Wiggins playing the piano the way he did, because he's playing it like he played on Rise with Solange, and it's very like so dark to me, and it pulls you in. You know what I mean? Made me feel a kind of way because he's saying the world is drunk and I'm a drinker like crazy. But anyway, anyway, I'm like, it brings you in, and the way that I love how Raphael is really attacking this song, like Prince did on Signs of the Times. So when you brought that up, I was like, this gave me that. And the things that he's saying in this song, you know what I'm saying? Like when he was like, he never finds he's in control. He finds it hard to walk away. So all he ever does is stay drunk. Like he's talking about addiction right there. And knowing when he did this when he was doing interviews and all that the album was about his brother and talking about addiction, that part right there, he's really like saying that, like people can't really kick this. And especially in the world that we're living in, it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. That's why this world be drunk, because it's like, so you can get addicted to something with the world that we living in. And it's so hard for people. You know what I mean? So this right here, I'm like, okay, Raphael, like for me, because normally Raphael is not dark like this. You know what I'm saying? He's not very heavy like this, even though I call him Curtis Mayfield Jr., but he's not, right. He's not, but he's not heavy like this. So when he's getting there, I'm like, ooh, Raphael, this is something different. That's why another reason why it might have took me a minute, because I'm not used to Raphael getting really deep like this. And this song, he's touching it, man. He's touching it. I'm telling you, oh God. And then the piano, the way, Dylon is playing, Sir Dylon is playing on it. It's just, oh my God.
It's interesting. I found a quote when he was talking about the album. And he said, I started thinking about people who are addicted to drugs, like my brother, and how much people wanted him to stop. And I figured I couldn't even stop doing some of the things I was doing when it came to food.
Right. I do. Yes. He was talking about that. I forgot. Yeah.
and understanding the magnitude of it, and what if, yeah, if he's struggling with food in that way, what was his brother struggling with?
That part.
And he, yeah, the other thing I like about the song too is, I'm still in that play mindset. I'm sorry, I'm gonna beat this to death. But what's cool is this is the first that's like outside, right? If the first two songs feel like they're first person, right? That's Jimmy Lee. If he's our protagonist, sort of talking about a situation. This is the first one where it's like the third person, right? People observing him and looking at him and sort of describing what's going on and their experience of it. And to your point as well, Jr. Like, him going dark like this, and I think the way you bring it up as well, at least the way I've heard Raphael talk about it, he was making a different album, and this sort of came out of him, right? He just realized he was making these songs and he had something to tell. And there's little things. What's the Tony? Is it Uncle Walter? Is that the
Little Walter.
Little
Little
Walter.
Walter? Yeah, there's a little bit of these themes that emerge, right?
Right.
But this is a man who has walked around with these experiences his entire life, and the amount of burden that I can only imagine what he's carrying, right? Like this song is about Jimmy Lee, but there's another interview where he talks about his other brother who died by suicide, and he tells a really graphic story about the fact that him and his brother and father helped clean up after his brother died. And when he tells that story in the interview, I was really struck by how he's been carrying these things around with him his whole life, right? And he's been carrying these things around and playing If I Had No Loot and feels good. And that's cool because he's brilliant and he could do those things. But those things were still there. Those things, he was still battling with those things. He was still battling with his own demons, and he was still carrying all that weight from his experiences growing up and losing people and living in an area that wasn't so good. And so as this begins to emerge, right, because it wasn't him, it's almost like, the way that I think he described it, like he really just found it coming forth. He really just found it. And some of it makes sense. The age that he was at when he wrote this, the things that he was doing, where he was at, it makes sense that these things sort of were coming out at this time. But to your point, JR, yeah, I think about how this isn't the voice that we've normally heard from him, but it's always been there, right? It's not like he just can forget about these experiences. They were always there on some level.
I agree. And then saying it like that too, like mind you, he has written for other artists that we know that, come on, he's worked with Mary so many times. He gave us a song like Color. I Can See in Color, like stuff like that. So he's holding all of this and he's never able to get it out, but he's able to get it out of a lot of other artists. He was able to get it out of Solange with a seat at the table. You know what I'm saying? So he's pulling all of their experiences out, and this was still in him. So he was just able to be like, boom. It just exploded. And he was like, yo, I gotta get this out. Like, it's on this. I can't. If I hold this in, I might as well die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, I gotta put this out musically some type of way. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why I said for me, it just kind of, I'm like, Raphael, I'm not used to this. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, yeah. And then in 2019, again, I wasn't in that space to want to get dark. Everything was happy and everything was great. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting into this album and getting to a song like this. I'm like, nah, I'm not. Maybe I'm not ready to touch that. You know, and Elise always says this too about albums as well. Sometimes you listen to an album and you're not in that place, you're not gonna maybe like it. So you listen to it maybe 3-4 months down the line where you're in a space and you be like, oh, this album is freaking amazing. But about 3 months ago, you was like, oh, this album is not doing it for me.
Yeah. I know I keep bringing up Solange, but the last album she put out, the first time I heard it, when I tell you,
you talked about it.
I hated it with the heat of 1,000 suns. Guess what? Today, I probably play that. And when I say today, I mean the last few months. Like, I play it continuously. Like, I get it. I connect it. I just want in the right space. And maybe I'm still... Now, I always was in the space for this album. for the story, for the mess, for the emotions, the feelings, I just sonically,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I battle with it. But
Can I
yeah,
ask you a question about that?
of course.
How much do you think as well? Because I hear your point with the kind of stuff that you like in general, but how much do you think as well that in some ways he's also kind of the victim to his own sort of previous creations, right? Like what he did with The Way I See It, what he did with Stone Rollin'. He sort of sets a bar for this is how I'm going to make music. This is what it's going to be like, even Instant Vintage and all that. And then this is a big departure. and
Yeah.
and and I wonder if that's part of it as well, that we expect something different from him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely expect. But you know what? I wasn't expecting The Way I See It, and
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
my
yeah,
that's not usually my thing. The kind of sound that I like. Like that's Jr. That's the big Motown, 60s Motown, like diehard. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I didn't see that coming, but I connected with it. I did like it the first time I heard it, and that's not even
yeah.
my thing that I like. But I know what you're trying to say, and I'm not trying to be contrary. But
No, 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 no. I get it. Yeah, yeah.
but no, as an artist myself, you do get, and when you try to pivot, or you just expressing a different side of yourself, a lot of time people don't accept it, don't understand it, or maybe in a decade they're like, oh, I get
Yeah,
it. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That that taking it back to Mary, that happened to her
oh,
because
big time,
everybody loved
big time.
the first three albums, right? And when we got to the Mary album, people didn't get it. They was like,
No.
"What is this? We don't like this. Like, we don't like this, Mary. Like, forget it." So she basically went back to what made everybody love her. But then after a while, Mary was like, I'm feeling stagnant as an artist. Like, I'm not growing because y'all keeping me there. And I'm a victim of that. Because again, with Raphael, I'm like, I want that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want more of this. Like, give me more of that. You know what I mean? So when I first heard, what was the song when I first
This
heard?
is this is why Secret Life of Plants was not popular.
Exactly. That's
Yes, that
exactly.
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 Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. And he had to come with Hotter Than July to say, y'all, I'm me.
Hmm.
Hello. But I
Hmm.
wanted to do something, I wanted to do a little something
Hmm.
different. But he was like, y'all, me. Forget it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that's why, again, it's starting to do these shows again with Elise, with her saying, follow your artist. Sometimes you got to move with them. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And that's why
Hmm.
with this, as much as I said I wasn't a fan, now the more I'm in, I'm loving it more and more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting it. I'm like, Raphael, I get it. I get what you were trying to do, and I get what you needed to do for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
had to get this out. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Especially when
Hmm.
a song with the world is drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to get this out because if he
Hmm.
didn't, he probably would have been like, maybe his writing, maybe now with this, his writing going to get so much better. You know what I'm saying? Because he was able to release. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just it's just now I'm looking at it different because remember, Adam, before we even started, I was like, Adam, I got to know why you love this album like this. And now it's like the way you once you said, yo, this joint feels like a play, I said, yeah, he got me. I mean, I really like he must be all up because I love it when people come and tell us why we love it. And most of the time, for me, at least normally get it off the break. She'd be like, I'm gonna tell you why this person loved this album. And I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like what? And the person to come on, she'll tell me. And then the person to come on and they'll say it and they'll at least be like, I was telling JR that, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I want to know why Adam, because we know you're a musician. So for me, I'm like, he's going to like the musicality of this, but the musicality ain't really that the focus. It's more of the lyrics. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah, so I
Yeah, I
guess
like some
that.
of the stuff. I like some of the stuff that he does musically, to be sure. And to your point, I do like his bass playing as well.
Mm.
He has so much Larry Graham in his bass playing, and he's never going to go wrong in that regard. But yeah, this goes back to Elise's point. Yeah, the songs are not as musically interesting as certainly what he's capable of, to be sure. They're just not. And I don't know if it's a weakness of it or not, but I know that it's not like, oh man, Staying in Love. Oh, the music of Staying in Love. That
Mm.
one, I mean, that
A
one, I could
fave.
talk about that. I could do it. I want to do a mini on that.
Oh,
But
listen. Oh, yep, you're gonna come back and do that. Thank you.
but but that's not what this album is, and
Mm-mm.
that's a absolutely valid thing about it, and it's gonna create a different experience, to be sure.
Yeah.
And the world and Drake, the world is drunk. The music on it is very boring. I know it's a lot of instrumentation, but it just sounds like a fucking loop to me. Like I do not
Mm-hmm.
like this song sonically at all.
Mm.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
I
It's
I
so
like that
flat.
there's
It doesn't change. There's it. Blah. It's like how I feel with the other song. I'm like, where's the drums? I'm here like, where's bridge or the crescendo or the something? I don't get it.
And you will know why I would love this because it makes sense because why I love Faith's Kissing You and you don't. Because you
Oh
said it
God.
has no crescendo. It has no when
Mhm.
are we gonna get there? It's just this. So you know this makes sense for me. Like I'm in. Like I'm like, it's fine for me. So that's why I knew I wanted to be funny when you asked me what you think I think. So I wanted to say the world is drunk. I wanted to say that, but I knew you was gonna be like, I will punch you right in your face. Don't play with me.
No, I'll fight you in your face.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll fight you in your face. You would have told me that, so I was like, no, I ain't gonna. I'm just gonna say it's so ready. But yes, this song is just one dimensional, like that. You know what I mean? Even though I love the thing. Like it's a favorite for me because it's just, it gets inside my spirit because I get it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
it certainly is one dimensional. Man, I'm just gonna keep coming back to this because I think this is just the way I listen to it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I listen to each song looking for that like variability and the crescendos and the rise. I think like the album does it, right? I think to me, each album like this is one song in my mind. This is one
Mm-hmm.
thing in my mind. It's an album and it's separated and all that, but
Right.
like so one of the things that jumped out at me, there's plenty of bass drum in The World Is Drunk, but So Ready has like this pounding sort of a bass drum, and then this song has a much more prominent snare.
Yeah.
And I noticed
Oh
that
yes.
about it that I thought was really interesting because usually those are going to go together, right? But it comes out and it's popping much more in here. Now this is not a go-go song, but it made me think of that with that prominent snare coming out, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I did think about how there was this sort of difference. Well, oh, that's so interesting. It's So Ready has this really prominent bass drum, and although there is plenty of bass drum in The World Is Drunk, how the snare is much more prominent to me. And it
Mhm.
felt almost like they sort of rode from one to the other in a more seamless way that way. Like that was the transition and that was the change. That it's less within each track and more within the album as a whole.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, and this is crazy because going to something keeps calling. What I about that, the transition made sense to me. Because remember, well, for me, when I first heard the record and I heard the single, it just starts. You know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
starts, and that's just what it is. The way
Yeah.
this comes into this, that's another thing I like. I like when an album just not doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just keep
Yes.
going for me. That's
Yes.
what I loved about Marvin. What's going on? It never
Yep.
stops. Like, just
Yep.
keep going. Let
One
sit
piece.
down. Yes, like don't stop it and then go to the next song. Like, no, like let's just transition to this next song. So when something keeps calling, now when I heard it, I was like, it makes sense now. You know what I mean? Coming from the world is drunk. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
And right before he transitioned, oh, I'm sorry, Elise.
I mean, something keeps calling. Like I really like that song, but it does some interesting thing. You get a solo, a long guitar solo. Um, you have two different voices on it. It's like that
Mm-hmm.
song is very interesting to me. Even though, like I said, I first heard it, I thought it was like Thundercat or something, but I
Mm-hmm.
like Thundercat and all that, so it made sense. Yeah. But go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. That don't matter. I read one review that mentioned Shuggy Otis with this song, like a callback to Shuggy Otis, and I thought that was really cool
Really?
because I didn't even think of that, and I went back and I was listening to him, and I go, yeah, I could see that. It's got kind
Yes,
of
that's I can see
it's
that.
got that feel to it. I thought that
Sure.
was kind of a cool thing because I wouldn't have thought of that. But
Mm.
yeah, it kind of continues the vibe a little bit from The World Is Drunk. Um, but the journey he's sort of taken us through, and yeah, he sort of ends The World Is Drunk. That's the first time he introduces the theme of mass incarceration as well. And so, like, if I'm thinking about this as a story, we're
Hmm.
getting this idea of addiction and struggle at first, and family is really present, and
Uh,
then he sort of lays out almost like a little teaser to what's coming as the story progresses. The idea that mass incarceration is brought up, but again, we return to this idea of that sort of pull, the sense of addiction, and the fact that there is something inescapable about it. Right there's the my favorite one. My mind says you should give it up today. Sounds awesome, right? But not tonight. I The way he captures that experience lyrically, I think is really really powerful.
Mhm.
hmm
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just I think this is a album that really I get back. We actually talk about the album as a whole every song we get to, but it's just the fact that I think Raphael wanted you to really just listen to him lyrically on this. Clearly, that's why he darn it, ended the album with the spoken word thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, y'all listen to what I'm saying. Like, I want y'all to really, y'all know the musician that I am, but I want y'all to listen to what I'm really saying. Like, cause I'm saying some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really
Mhm.
saying some shit to y'all, and I really want y'all to listen because I don't think people are really riding like this. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was saying in the beginning, everything with this new generation is just one dimensional. They're really not really talking about too much. And the things we were dealing with, with the world and all that. Like, if you listen to this album now lyrically, it connects to what everything's going on now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's that's what you call timeless, people. Catch. But at the end of the day, it's just like this to me is just again, you just paying attention to this stuff lyrically because it's a lot of lyrics that each of these songs I'm gonna pull out and talk about because I'm like, damn, Raphael. Like before, I think Raphael is one of my favorite songwriters. He's actually number 3 as a songwriter for me. So
Mm.
I would have thought, you know what I'm saying? Like now I sit back and think, I'm
Mhm.
like, you love him as a songwriter and you didn't get into this as the writings of his songs. Like, how did you
Mhm.
not do that? But again, I wasn't listening. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to it musically instead of listening to it lyrically. And I started becoming very lyrical when I met that one. So, you know what I'm saying? So I started getting a little bit more lyrically because of that. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
there's
song are
not
we on? Oh, go
there,
ahead.
there's
Go
there's
ahead.
not in popular music, there's not as many, socially conscious protest songs, right? Like Stevie's putting out an album every year, and there was something he had some Nixon diss track on every single album, and
Okay.
and I feel like I'm sure that music still exists, right? I'm sure that music still exists out there, but I just don't hear it the same way. Whether it was Marvin Gaye doing it or Public Enemy like 15 years later or whoever, I feel like I just don't hear as much of it in popular music.
Yeah. And I think like the 80s we ain't really get, but I felt like in the 90s Like folks was getting back to it. We were getting it, and then like the 90s
Yeah.
was trying with the whole and especially with the whole Afrocentric
Mm-hmm.
thing with hip hop and within
Mm-hmm.
R&B, and then it just
Mm-hmm.
kaput. Like
Mm-hmm.
2000s, you didn't get none of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it
forget
really feels
Very
that.
absent.
seldom. Very seldom.
Yeah.
Very seldom.
Yeah, it feels really, really absent. Again, like I'm sure that music exists, but it being part of like the popular music zeitgeist, that I
Yeah.
don't hear it in the same way. The way that
No.
I feel like, from the 60s and on,
Yeah.
that's been present and that's been really, really important. Um, but yeah, no, it feels like there's just not nearly as much of it.
I mean, that's why these kids now, like, we go off to when Kendrick did All Right. It's just like, oh, we got that. Or like doing when, the Black Lives Matter. It was a lot of our R&B artists that were bringing out songs like every week about, with Trayvon Martin and all of that. And people would bring, but then it seemed like when it ain't in, the media and all that, nobody's still doing it.
Hmm.
Because by the time we got to 2019, no, it wasn't nobody doing it. It wasn't that. So Raphael was like, well, I can. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
clearly needed. We clearly needed a Curtis and Marvin and,
yeah,
all of that during this time.
yeah.
And Raphael was like, well, shit, I'm going to do it then. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I know for me, I had those guys. For me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But,
But
yeah.
he did it, but like Adam said, it wasn't popular.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't in the the general consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I barely listened to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
didn't even fuck with it, and I have a very open mind for
Right.
music,
Right.
especially
That's true.
So that says something.
We need it, people. We need that.
Just
Like,
just a sprinkling of it does not a movement make,
yeah, that's
And
Yeah, and I
true.
mean, this is.
I wish more. But then it's like with the attitudes of people, and not just young people, it's just like people don't accept it. People don't. I mean, people barely support the like regular upbeat records, let alone a protest record. It's just such
Mhm.
a complacency and just the general populace that
I agree.
it's hard.
That's
And I'm
true.
sure there's lots of influences and the way that the music industry works now and streams and numbers. I can understand a lot of the forces that have gone into it. The
Mhm.
absence of it, though, I think is really important. I think the fact that it's not present is meaningful. Look,
Yeah,
Stevie wasn't making whole like concept albums, right? Like, I mean, where I'm coming from, but by and large, he wasn't doing that. But every single album had something on there, if not a couple different tracks. And I think that there was something important about both, having the albums, having the what's going on, having the sign of the times, the where I'm coming from, and all that. But I think there's
Mhm.
also something important about, okay, I'm gonna play Superstition, and then I'm gonna go right into what's after Superstition, Big Brother. Like I'm gonna make this transition. We're gonna dance, but I'm gonna tell you something as well.
I was just talking about that with somebody, and I was like, we don't even have like the inspirational stuff. Because last night that's what it was. Last night I was watching The Wine is and It's Time, right? And that was on crossover radio during that time. You know what I mean? We had the Optimistic that crossed over. We had BB and CC we don't even have that anymore. So we
what
don't
that's
even
what I
have
just said. The '90s. That's what we tried to.
Mhm.
mm-hmm,
And even the raunchiest records, they threw some kind of
Mhm.
inspirational thing. It's always the last song or the
yeah,
very first song, and
mm-hmm,
but it was something. It was
Yeah,
because it was multiple artists doing it, so it made a statement. Just the
right,
fact that everybody was doing it.
right. I think
absolutely.
when Kendrick tried to do it, he's on this album, makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
And he
Yeah,
tried to do it with To Pimp a Butterfly. He went that way with that.
Hmm.
And you would think it's like, okay, he's a big artist, but like Elise said, one person ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? It has to be so many heads. So maybe shoot, if Raphael would have came out with this in 2016 when he came out with the Pimp a Butterfly, it might would have gotten, you know what I'm saying, the love that it deserved. You know what I mean? But since
Yeah.
you don't think so either,
Uh-uh.
no,
Mm-mm.
Is it harder as well that people don't listen to albums as much, so you can't put
that's
the
true.
deep cut in there? You can't
Yeah.
put that 10th track in there that's the you haven't done nothing or something like that.
Mhm.
That people it's a singles sort of a driven time. And
Mhm.
like you point out, at least it's a 2 minute, no bridge, just one note, no key change, no nothing, kind of a thing to music. And so people are not listening to albums the same way that they did. And so when they do, like To Pimp a Butterfly, it stands out because it is so rare to find an album that people listen to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's very, very sonically interesting. It there's not a dull moment on that Kendrick, like to
Oh yeah,
me, sonically.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yes. Oh yeah. It's very true. Yes.
yeah,
it's just
Yeah.
so much jazz. I'm just like, yay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go jazz.
That's true. Oh God. Oh God. Okay, what song are we at, y'all? Because I love this conversation for real. Like how it's flowing for real. But what song
We
are
are
we at?
aptly at King's Fall.
Yes.
Now this is when I said that goddamn Curtis Mayfield Jr. Because I said I can see Curtis Mayfield doing a record like this, and it's
Yeah.
on There's No Place Like America Today. That album, a song like this can be on there. And lyrically, the most powerful lyric on this song to me is when he said, even though I'm clean, I'm still a dope fiend.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What? I was
Yes.
like, whoa. That when I first that was when I first listened to this album. That was the song. This is the song that really got me from that line. Cause I was like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then again, it brought me back to the interviews and stuff he was doing about the addiction and all of this. I was just like, this, and then after he says that and it's like he gives the encouragement afterwards. He says, "Hold on, hold on, hold
Mhm.
on, hold on," like that. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "It's gonna." He's telling you, "Yo, just hold on, it'll be all right. Like you can get through this." Like and like you said, maybe this is what he wished he could have told his brother. He could have like, "Yo, hold on, it's gonna be all right. Like you can get through this. You can get through this." But that lyric right there, even though I'm clean, I'm still a dope fiend. That gives me chills just speaking about it. Like that's just
Mhm.
a powerful lyric. Yeah. So and then what's his name on piano again? It
Mhm.
just gives you
Mhm.
just chill. Sir dialogue just on the piano gives you
Mhm.
it gives it what this song needs. Again, it's dark, but yet it's still beautiful. So that's what I think about King's Fall.
Can I ask you a question? Whose son is Dylon? Because I know that's his nephew.
I think if I thought that was Dwayne's son.
It's Dwayne's. Okay.
I think so. I think that's
Okay.
Dwayne's son, if I'm not mistaken. Well, at least you can consult the Googles.
I knew it wasn't Jimmy.
I
You
would
know,
be
because
wrong.
because one thing he talked about was the first person who heard the whole album done outside of the production team was Jimmy Lee's son. They played it. I think he said he played it in the car together, and the two of them just sat in the car and they cried together when they were listening to it. But I
Mm,
love the fact that there's family in this.
yes.
There's family a
Yeah.
couple times. The Reverend Baker's family too.
Yes. 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 Oh yes. Whew.
But this one, yeah, the Curtis Mayfield. I really like that comparison.
Hmm.
I just oh, I just had a light bulb moment.
Okay.
Mm,
Talk to me.
I don't see this album as like a stage play or musical. I
uh-huh.
see it as a dance suite. I
Okay.
could see like a modern dance telling of this album, with just the album straight through that would like on some Alvin Ailey types. Like I could
Mm,
see it.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
That's what works for me. I really hear it in King's Fall. Like I
mm,
could almost see what the dancers would be doing, how they
mm-hmm.
would be dressed, how the lighting. Like I could conceptualize that. Okay, sorry. I just had that. This this could be a
Yes.
modern dance suite. Okay.
So
Okay.
who's the grant writer who's going to put that forward so we can get that production put on somewhere?
I
Right.
and then with that,
Who's going to make that happen?
yeah, right, right. Because with that, then the things I don't like about it musically,
Mm.
the visually, it
Hmm.
would make it all come together. Because I could,
I see
because
that.
then the dancers become that crescendos and
Yes.
those le- peaks and valleys that I need. I
Hmm.
yes, okay.
All right, we're going to do this. I'm getting tickets. I'll tell you that.
I
Y'all
I
better
do.
get
I'm
y'all
just going to
credit.
find a way that make it would make sense as a
Anybody
dance.
listening to this, if y'all stealing ideas, Elise and Adam want their credit ASAP.
No, this one's Elise. This one's Elise, and I love it. I think that's amazing. And yeah, that's the way to get that extra sort of color and
Mhm.
flavor and texture to it, right? To
Mhm.
have that you're adding a level of performance to it. And I suppose acting in theater does that as well, but you're taking it to this a much brighter and bigger form of performance that you can add to it. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, that's so
King,
many aha moments. Like,
and you know, I love with King's Fall.
mhm.
I love the title of it as well, and I loved the way that Saadiq sort of would talk about, this was his big brother. He had a lot of love and admiration for him. He was a king to him. He was this charismatic guy around town. People knew him. People loved him. And then the addiction like grabs hold, right? And it becomes too big. It becomes too massive for him. The disease is there as well. And so there's something really powerful because it's also a transitional sort of a point in the album, right? It's almost like you've sort of gone through the story of the desperation and the guilt and the view of the world as drunk, and now this idea of and that lyric that you point out, Jr., right? I think it resonates with a lot of people who struggle with addiction. I may be
Mm.
clean right now, but it's a fight every single day. And not only do I still see myself that way, and not only do I still feel that way, but everyone around me sees me that way. And that's the way I'm looked at by the world. That's the way I experience myself. It's a constant everyday struggle. This song to me is really this feeling of the whatever he was holding himself up by for the beginning portions of this album, he's beginning to fall apart. He's beginning to like it's taken over to a much bigger degree, and the days are numbered. It has that kind of feel to me.
Mhm. I agree with that because that's why he goes into how he goes into the next one. I'm feeling love
Mm-hmm.
because the drug is the love for him. You know what I mean? Like now it's just like
Mm-hmm.
even though this right here, when I heard it, I was like, it makes me dizzy when I listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like weird to me. Like it's just weird musically to me. But
Yeah.
you know what I also now I be thinking that this is like his flying high in the friendly skies,
Yes.
Marvin. You know what I'm saying? Because he's taking us through somebody that's actually like, that's why you're supposed to feel dizzy, because this is what the high feels like. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So he's like,
Yeah.
but to me, I wasn't getting that. I'm like, what the hell is this, Raphael? I'm like, again, going into it musically, not listening to it lyrically again. And I'm like, this some Parliament, you got to be on acid type of shit. Like, this is what I thought going into this. And I was like, I'm not in it. But then when I'm listening to it and I'm like, is D'Angelo playing on here? I was like, is the Uma on here?
Mm.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, did Dilla have this? Is Quest on these drums? Like what? Now I'm starting to analyze this record. I'm like,
I think Shahid was on this one, was he?
yes, he was playing the congas,
Yeah, I think he was. I can't
right?
remember.
Was it this one? He was playing the congas on.
I can't remember right now. I thought it was this one, but I might be wrong.
I think so. I think he might have been playing the congas on this one. But yeah, I thought it was very Uma. But then listening to, it, I was like, this might be his Marvin, his nod to how he was influenced by, flying high in the friendly skies type of thing. Like, I want y'all to feel this. I want y'all to know what a person, that's on drugs feels. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
this is what this record was. Again, this is more about a feeling record. Again, JR, love and feeling. How could I not get it? But again, it's all good. Better late than never. But it's all good. But yeah, it's just this was his nod to Marvin to me. So he went from Curtis to Marvin, like boom. I'm like, I see where you at, Robin. I see. Like he like, all right, I gave you the 60s, JR. Now I'm with your favorite artist, and you not with me? Like, come on. Like, so yeah, that's what I got from this record for sure.
Yeah, the injections every day. Well, that's the only way too. I have of making sense of the end, the Willy Wonka, the Jimmy Walker, the Uncle Fred.
Mm,
Because when I first heard that, I was like, "What is he on about? I do not understand this."
yeah.
But I think in that context, right? In that context, the vein to vein, I'm here to stay. In that sense of the release that the heroin, that the high, that the drug gives you in that moment and takes you to the other place. Yeah, it's the only way that I have to make sense of the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. And damn, and then it's like with addiction, this is what you're doing. This is what makes you feel like you're being loved. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
just you in that. It's hard watching that too. You know what I mean? Because I had a couple in my family that was dealing with addiction, and to
Mhm.
see it, it's like, whoo, to see somebody really going through that. So listening to this and listening to this song, it's just like it makes me think about some of my family members that I saw going through it and actually passed from it. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
oh God, like this is, and mind you, the last song we was talking about, he like, this is the way people look at them, like, you know what I'm saying? So they don't feel loved by nobody but the
Yeah.
drug that they're doing. So that's
Yeah.
why you go to this record and I'm feeling
Yeah.
love because it's like his brother, like,
That's right.
I feel loved by
Yeah.
this. I don't feel loved by nothing else. This is giving me the satisfaction that I need in that moment. You know what I mean? So it's woo.
And to capture the pain of that, right? If the only
Mm-hmm.
way that you have to feel love, if the only way that you have to feel release is this, that's a really desperate and painful experience. And to
Yeah.
capture that in the way that he captures it, with kind of a it is, and this one's particularly repetitive, right? But in almost a haunting way. It's got that rhythm to it in the back. I was really surprised. He did this one on his most recent Tiny Desk, and I was really surprised that he chose to do this song because it does have that sort of feel to it where it fits in the context of the album, but to be taken apart and just done on its own was a different thing. Although, I mean, live, everything's better live. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, everything,
Mhm.
any song, there's no song that's not
Yeah.
better live. If there is, I don't
Yeah.
want to know it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just a rewind, when y'all were asking about Sir Dylan, that is Dwayne's son.
It is.
That
Okay.
is
Yeah.
Dwayne's. Okay. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
Cool.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Got it. Got it. He's
Dwayne
not
is
that
Dwayne. I
talented
feel like
though.
Dwayne's on this album, isn't he?
No.
Not credited
He's
if he
not.
is.
He's
If he
not.
is,
Okay.
it's not credited.
Okay. My bad.
Neither is D'Angelo either, because I still feel like D'Angelo is
No,
on I'm
D'Angelo's
Feeling
not.
Love. He's
Yeah,
not
no, D'Angelo's not.
credited, but I feel it. I swear I think he's on I'm Feeling Love. I'm sorry. It sounds very him. And probably D'Angelo probably was like, oh, I don't need the credit. Me and you got enough hits with each other anyway that I am credited on. So he probably, D'Angelo's an artist. He probably just went in there, let's just play it. You know what I mean? And probably was like, I don't need no credit. I'm having a good time because it feels very, very
Mm.
D'Angelo-ish to me.
Oh, and Rikers Island is the one with Shahid on it on Congas.
Oh, that's what that was? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Because I know Shahi played the Congress, but I thought it was on this, but
Hmm.
it's on Rikers Island.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Whew. So we get to My Walk.
Wow.
Now this funny. When it started, I was like, is this Lil Mo Superwoman part two?
Mm.
I
Hmm.
was like,
Hmm.
okay, all right, but this is Raphael's story, basically. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Where he was like, I played in school and churches and talent shows, and you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
he just that was
Hmm.
his. This is his story. He was like, when he had a trombone in his. Or was that his brother? His brother, Adam. I'm not sure because he said when he
Which
had the trombone in his hand and he told the drunk man to get out of his face, but then he woke up one morning with the trombone in his hand, and because I don't think Raphael plays trombone, does he?
he did for a minute, and he even in the liner notes he talks about it. He
Okay.
says, what does he say? Where is it? Because he's talking about being a vocalist, right? And he says, all I ever wanted to be was a bass player and a brass trombone player.
Ah,
It's somewhere in the liner
okay.
notes because he's given props to the guy who did the vocal mix for him.
Okay.
I can't find it. I can't find it quickly, but I don't. I think he might have because what I remember was I think he picked up bass around six.
Okay.
But so he was doing bass from very very early on. But I think that there was some trombone mixed in there as well, and I think that was more part of school, right? Because there's not really usually as big of a place for bass in school as trombone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, there was some trombone in there. I think it also probably works better lyrically, right?
You know what this song reminds me of?
Mm.
Speaking of fucking D'Angelo, Thousand Deaths. Just that distortion and come that
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
puts me in the mind of that. Not
A little
saying,
bit of
but
a
it puts me
bluesy
in the
feel.
mind of that.
I get it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Even including the content, not just the musicality, like just even the subject matter to an extent.
Yeah.
To me,
Oh yeah.
you don't have to agree.
No. I'm with it. No, I'm with it because now I'm thinking because again that and the distortion of it all. I had to think about 100 Deaths for a second. I'm like, so
Thousand,
I'm in my head while it's playing, and I'm like, okay. I was like, I can see it. I can
thousand,
totally see it.
thousand
Thousand
deaths.
deaths. I'm saying 100, 1,000. I do it one time every episode. Shoot, D'Angelo might have played on this too, girl.
You
Speaking
just want to
of,
put D'Angelo everything. He
I
ain't on
sure
everything.
am. I sure
Taylor,
am. He
he
should
ain't on
be here.
everything.
He should be here. So,
Boo. I see what you did there, but boo.
I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cute.
yeah, thank you, thank you, thank
No,
you.
I thought
What
that
up?
was cute.
It be
No.
your own people. You see what I'm saying? Like,
And then they use your own words against you. Look at them.
right.
See, but the problem now is that's what's in my head. I can't get my walk in my head because Be Here is in my head now.
I'm sorry.
Be Here is in my head. You know, this is one of those albums too. Yeah. This is what makes me think of. Yeah, you ever see those social media videos where somebody stops somebody that's listening to music on the street and they're like, "What are you listening to?" And what I always think to myself with that is, if somebody stopped me on the street and asked what I was listening to, I wouldn't be able to tell them because I could tell them the artist, but I feel like I'm really bad at pulling out the song titles. Even on this album, it really wasn't until I started listening to Do This that I really learned the song titles, because I just tend to listen to albums.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really listen to singles or playlists that much. I just listen to the album. And a lot of times I could tell you the lyrics to the song, I could tell you how it starts, I could tell you the key, the instrumentation, but I don't know the name of it half the time. I have to like find it. I have to try and say, oh, okay, where was that in the sequence of the song or the sequence of the album? Oh, that's the second song on the B side. I got it.
Right. I mean that makes a great body of work. To be honest,
I
if you
no, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying it does. It makes a great body of work for me because I'm like that too. Like I'm
Yeah,
listening to the album and I'm going through it, and then after I listen to the album a couple of times, then I'm looking at the track listing.
yeah,
That's why a lot
yeah.
of times I'll be wrong with it and at least got to correct me in the show. Because I'll be like, I say it and I'll be like, oh shit, that's what it was called. Because again, I'm so into the music of it all, I could care less about what the song titles is. It might as well be
Yeah,
up on the show, but I get it. Like, especially an
absolutely.
album that I enjoy. I'm like, I ain't got to know what the heck this. And then if the hook is getting me, it's like, all right, I know, okay, if the title's in the hook, I'm good. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But
right. because a lot of times I'll mess it up. Now I wouldn't mess up 100 and 1,000 deaths. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't do that. But
Ooh, bang, bang,
I
bang!
do,
I catch.
but I mess up song titles a lot, or I'll be like, I don't know what that song is. Somebody will tell me the title, and I'll say, I have no idea what that song is, and then they'll start to play, and I go, oh yeah, I know that song. I know what that song is.
Yeah. Oh God! So that's my walk, people. I will mess up your title in a minute. So don't ask me. Oh God! All right. Great, great song. Belongs to God. Uh, this song makes me think about my grandma.
Mm.
It makes me think about her. She is the one that really got me into gospel anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
when I hear this and Reverend Baker, because it's really his song, because he got a song, My Body Belongs to God. It's his record. So it brought me back to when I was like 3 and 4 years old, and my grandma used to just put in the VHS. I know y'all don't know what that is these days, but put in the VHS, and she would play like the Canton Spiritual, the Williams brothers, the Jackson Southerners, like that. And I would just sit there. Now I'm 2 and 3 years old. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm feeling the music of it all. And this makes me miss her and why she made me know who God was for me. Because it was like, this just proves my faith on this record. And it's like, if everything on my body belongs to him, then I know I'm somebody. You know what I mean? He didn't make me wrong at all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable in everything in me. And if it belongs to him, I'm glad I have a connection with him. This just
Mm-hmm.
pushes my faith stronger to him. And Raphael is from the church. So
Mm-hmm.
he's that guy. So for that, this is probably my second favorite after So Ready. Like I love
Mm.
this song
Mm.
down for me. So yeah, this is hey grandma, hey girl. But this is I love this. I love this song period. So yeah.
It's a
What's
really beautiful song.
yeah, and I find it beautiful, and I'm not even a Christian, but gospel music moves me, and
Yeah.
the way that gospel chords and harmonies are set up, that's music that moves me.
Right.
So it still gives me that feeling, even though it's not in the same way as you, JR.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it, I feel something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I, I thought of this song as sort of the funeral song for Jimmy Lee, and like if he's our
Yeah.
protagonist.
Yeah.
And what I thought was kind of interesting about it was it isn't just a really somber type of funeral song. It's almost like, you know what it made me think of, and it didn't make me think of this musically, but it made me think of it more in terms of rituals. It made me think of New Orleans second line, in the sense that, right, the second line has the kind of the somber dirge, kind of a march, like a just a closer walk on the way to the funeral, and then a much more celebratory party, kind of a second line on the way back. And in
Mhm.
some ways this song feels like it contains both, in the sense that it has something that is kind of uplifting and beautiful to it, but it also has kind of a somber, like it's almost like a releasing kind of a thing, right? Like, I can imagine in some way that sort of release from Jimmy Lee in the grips of addiction, dying, and then from a spiritual sense, sort of releasing himself to something else and saying, this body, this vessel that I had that was addicted now belongs to God. I sort of thought of it in this sense of the story as being that kind of that funeral point. Even the fact that the interlude happens after this, it's almost like a transitional phase to sort of I don't know. I feel like it says something about this idea of death and passing, or at least that's the way I think of it.
Yeah, it kind of puts me in the mind of uh like an I'll fly away, like that
Mhm.
messaging and that mood of, okay, when this life is over, okay, then there's freedom, I fly away. Um
Mhm.
yeah. I don't identify as Christian now, but I did grow up in church. So, child, I child, hard body too. So, like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just as a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ooh,
So
I'm
then,
sorry. It just this made me think about my grandma. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, see, that's what I think is so powerful and beautiful about this album, because for the folks that it resonates with, and Saadiq has talked about this, that he's gotten a lot of feedback from people who listen to it who either were addicts or had people in their family who struggled with addiction. And they all found something really beautiful in here that connected with them in some meaningful way. And I don't think that there's a way, he was surrounded by this with multiple different people in his life, not just his family growing up, but I mean, he's a musician. From the time being on tour with Sheila E. and Prince, like
Right,
he was around
right.
this culture. His
Yeah,
entire life
yeah.
he's been around this culture. He
yeah.
knows it. And I think it's one of the powerful and really important and meaningful things about this album is when an album, when a song can evoke a reaction like what you're having, JR, that's good music. That's what music's supposed to do. It's supposed to bring us to that. It's supposed to be able to put into
Yeah.
words, or excuse me, put into feeling something we can't put into words.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about the way that this album does it. Is there's something about the way that he captures experiences so evocatively and personally that you can't help but be moved by it if you have a connection to it in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Hey, grandma. Hey, girl. Oh, and she probably like, boy, cut it out.
And your sis over here, like, whatever, you feel your
Yes,
feelings. That's one
yes.
thing I will never. I talk a whole lot of shit and real shady, and sometimes I'm mean, but I always let people feel their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got a shrink in the house right now, so this is more than welcome.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is where I
Yeah.
live, so
Right, right, right.
this is my everyday.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it really is like I think that it's one of the things that I love about music. Is it takes us to those places, good and bad, and all the different things in between. That's what makes music so important. Is it has the power to do that, and when we find those things that resonate with us, yeah, there's nothing like it.
Yes. And isn't. And
Yeah,
isn't.
yeah,
Woo! Oh, man. All right. So, glory to the veins.
yes.
Listen, now them drums on this is just powerful, man. Boom, 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 with the little guitar in the back and all of that, and then Esther, what was his name? What is his name? Um,
Ernest.
Ernest. That's his name. Ernest.
Ernest
Ernest.
Turner.
Yes, yes. On the piano, I was getting Donny Hathaway vibes. I
Oh
was
yeah,
getting
yeah,
Donnie.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is
The
Donnie.
arpeggiations. Yeah,
Yes. I was like,
yeah,
this is Donnie. I was just like,
yeah.
oh my God. So this is my third favorite on the album. Like this, it's just powerful and it just like brings you in. And it's again, it's dark. And so you said, so I have a question to ask you, Adam. So you said belongs to God is kind of like the funeral, right? And it's kind of what is glory to the veins then?
Glory to the Veins, I think about as Sadiq has been left with this experience of losing so many different family members and seeing so much drug and addiction. This is his journey with addiction. I mean, my walk has some of that, but my walk to me is more of his experience with his family, with Jimmy Lee and what that was like. This to me is like, okay, now he's out. So he tells a story about when he left the Tonys. He tried, I think it was ecstasy with somebody, and then he got this experience from it. He got this feeling from it, and he put it down. And he said, "No, this is going in the trash. I I cannot do this to my mother again.
Right.
I cannot put her through this again. Right? I see the door, but I'm not going in. Right? This is his struggle being in this environment from go. Right? His entire life, he's been in this environment, one form or another, and of course he's going to contend with it. Right? The gin. I can't remember the lyric about the gin in here, but of course he had to struggle with it, and he struggled with it with food, which is a very serious one as well. And I know the way Saadiq talks about it, he says, you know, if like you pointed out, Elise, if I'm struggling with food, this must be, look, people who struggle with with addictive relationships to food, that's some really intense and serious stuff as well. So I think that there's something in here about his own sort of journey with what he wants to be, and what his relationship to this is going to be, and the oh well that it kind of ends with, the just the chanting of it, the oh well,
Mhm.
you know, there's something about it, because I don't think my first hit is like, oh, okay, there must be something of like some powerlessness to it, but I don't think it's that. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something about it which I think is really beautiful. The way he sort of does it while Ernest is in the back doing this really beautiful piano sort of arpeggiation.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about it that just really rings out. But I've always thought about this as, you know, I've been around this my whole life. What path am I going to take?
Oof, this song is dark. Like it's heavy, man. Like,
It's heavy. It's beautiful. I
oh my
love this song.
God. Like it's just like, whew, it's just like, whew.
But
You
this
know
is,
what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
to your point, at least, this could have been a 5 minute song in my mind. This is like a 2 minute song.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Yeah.
song, I really think is gorgeous. He could have done something really powerful with it. But then I
Yeah.
think to myself, but is that the point? That
Right.
that
Right.
we don't get enough of the good thing, whether it was, you know, him not having enough of his brother, or sometimes the addict not having enough of the drug that they want or need. I don't know. But yeah, I think that this is a really great musically song that I think he could have sat in for a while.
I agree. In fact, that this song makes me so mad because
Yeah,
I I
yeah,
I do really
yes.
I love it, and I love you get to the end when the piano is really pianoing, and like um I really do. I love this song, and I wanted 2 more minutes.
Yes.
Right.
A minute and a half. You know, I'm not greedy. Give me 90 more seconds, dog. Like to like flesh it out. But he was like, oh well. And that's how I feel. Oh well.
Oh well. What if
Oh
that
well, it's like
experience
a
of being mad,
dismissive acceptance. It's like you accept it, but you just
right? Which you have to
it's
with, but
that.
all I'm saying is, what if that mad that you feel of it ending too soon is
Is the,
representative of,
yeah. What if that's the fucking point?
I wonder. I really do wonder, because if so,
I think
that
it
to
is.
me, I think that is just brilliant. To be
I
able to
think.
capture in that way something about what his experience of loss was like,
Mm-hmm.
I really dig that.
And with Raphael, it's always got to be something, a reason why he does this. I mean, hello, y'all. He produced Untitled, and that was 7 minutes, and he still stopped it. Like it was obviously a reason for that, and
There's a
it
reason.
cuts off. So we
Yeah.
know Raphael has a reason that he did that, and I think that is exactly the reason, Adam. To be honest with you, because this whole album was definitely a tribute to his brother and all of that. So the way you're describing it, it makes sense. It makes sense. There got to be a reason because what you call wasn't able to live his life and it was short. So these songs are going to be short too. You know what
The
I
album
mean?
is
So
short.
you can get right. The album is short, so you can get a feeling of what his brothers went through. You know what I mean? So
And then you
mm,
get into like then you think about back to It's the Vintage, you get what 14 minutes of Sky Can You Feel Me? But that's like love and you
Hmm.
truly do enlighten
right,
me. You're my joy. Yeah, let's extend that shit. Who don't want to feel good?
Hmm.
right, right,
I
right.
suppose another possibility is that these songs might have been painful for him to write. Maybe he didn't want to stay in them that long.
That's true.
Maybe he didn't want to have to live in Glory to the Veins for 5 minutes. Maybe he's like, 2 minutes
Mhm.
is enough. I'm done.
Probably was crying after he did that 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I cannot
My
imagine what it would be like to write this album and tell these stories the way he did. I can't.
my most painful poetry and essays and shit are the shortest because I I got to get in and get out. It's making, see,
That's right.
see, we talk about it.
That's right.
A
You get
cold
in, you get out.
case. Hey, Dart.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I get it. It's hard to sit
Yeah.
in that too long. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed. Agreed.
cool. Mhm. Oh well.
Right.
Oh well.
Oh God. Oh,
Nicely done, Elise.
yes.
Nicely done. Go with the callbacks.
Yes.
Yeah, I was supposed to be a stand-up comedian in some form of life.
I agree.
I would call back some shit. But yeah.
Where we at? Oh,
Yeah.
Rikers Island.
Rikers Island.
Again, another Marvin nod to me because this gives me the flavor of Time to Get It Together
Mm-hmm.
on Here, My Dear. Like it gives me that. It like too many niggas in Rikers Island. We must set them free. Like he's talking for them and he's talking and he's showing like, y'all, we got to get it together before we get more brothers up in there again. Like we need to set a lot of them free because a lot of them probably in there and don't gotta be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all, we got to get this right. And I've seen a live performance that he did this on YouTube. Y'all check it out. Oh my God. I was just sitting there like, and mind you, and that joint is like 7 minutes long. You know what I'm saying? So again, we talking about how short these joints, because this one is, this is about 4 minutes, ain't it?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, this one is like 4 minutes, yeah. So it's just, this could, and also this also can be like his inner city blues in a way, because he was taking us on like a little journey of what, was going through at Rikers Island. You got brothers not home with their families. You got kids missing there's like all of this. And he's taking us like Marvin was doing back in 71. It was like, look, y'all, this is what's going on here. And I think what's going on. But with Rikers Island, I think that's what Raphael was doing. Like, y'all, look at what's going on. Y'all, we got to get this together for real. So another nod to Marvin again.
And lyrics aside, I like this song sonically. I like the little chorus with the kind of choir kind of thing. Sonically, I like this song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, message, of course, but like I like to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dynamic. It has different things. It has a, even in its shortness, but it's a lot going on in that little time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the fact that it's fuller musically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can talk about addiction without talking about mass incarceration.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly at least within Black and Brown communities, I think they're two inseparable. So I think that was really important and powerful that he was able to sort of tell it in a way where I think it also fits in the narrative context of like the broader sort of album. That he's talked about the addiction struggle. Now this is the sort of the step back, right? He talks about his own struggle. He talks about his brother's struggle. He talks about the general struggle. Now this is a sort of a step back to the wider lens scope of the problem as he begins to look at it towards the later parts of the album.
Yeah. Totally agree. Damn,
and at this point, we're all exhausted, right? I mean,
yes, because it's so dark. Yes, yeah, it's that heavy. You know what I mean?
And then you're exhausted. You're like, no, let's do a redux.
Right.
Run it back.
We're not done yet.
Yes. Now instead of anything musical, I want you to really hear what the heck I got to say, because dude went in.
Who plays the guitar on the redux? Is it Raphael?
I thought it was. I think it is.
I would think it is.
I think it's Raphael.
Yeah, it is. He plays the guitar and the bass on the Redux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. I know what the bass, I knew it was him, but I was like, because I knew I was like, he played a lot more of the guitar on this album than normal. You know what I mean? Because he normally get other people to come in and play it, but I think on this one he did a lot of it on his own. Again, because this is more of his story and more of a lot of things, more him. You know what I mean? The rawness of it all.
He did all the voices for the choir on Rikers Island.
Shut up, for real?
Yeah, he just multi-tracked it. Yeah, the whole choir he just did himself.
Oh,
None of the
that's
Redux on Rikers Island.
Yeah, this album is definitely personal for him.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna be a part of everything on this. I ain't gonna get no choir. It's just gonna be me, and I'm a stat. I swore that was a choir or something.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, look, Stevie would
what,
do it.
yeah. Well, you notice what I said? I said a choir like thing because I knew it wasn't an actual choir.
You did.
That's why I stated it in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can tell the difference. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
True, true, true. This one, man. I mean, he said King had one dream that won't seem to come true. I hate that this deferred dream keeps reoccurring. Wake up, America. Wake up and hurry. That's how he ended it, yo.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm. Yeah, this one's nothing but bars. I think the whole thing.
bars. Like,
Whole thing. The whole thing.
yes. Just straight
This is
bars.
this is my favorite track off the album. This
Ah,
and Glory to the
okay.
Veins.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't listen to this one without getting chills. No, this one it's done so well, and the way he sort of changes it up too with we've been talking sonically like that first of all it starts with the jail door shutting, right, the prison door slamming
Mm-hmm.
shut. I don't know if you want to call that the end of Rikers Island or the beginning of this. I don't remember where it's at, but it starts with a really jarring, powerful sonic quality to it, and then it just has this really mellow, the guitar and the bass in the background just really, they're a whole vibe, right?
Mhm.
And then Daniel Watts comes in and he delivers what I think is just a absolutely brilliant and powerful performance. It's really moving, all of it.
It's nothing really said. Like you said, this joint is some straight bars. Like, like what do you say? And then Raphael's kind of like harmonizing in the background of
Hmm.
it, and it's just
Hmm. Hmm.
dopeness. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
really is.
yes, it's great. It's great.
The my I played it for my son, was in the car when I was playing it one time. His favorite line is just like Optimus Prime, we gotta transform. He's like Optimus Prime, and I was like, well, that's not necessarily the takeaway I'd like for you to have from this song, but okay, go ahead with it. I mean,
It's
Optimus
fine.
Prime, you
Hey,
you find what you
whatever.
like.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get you in. Sometimes,
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. That's
you
right.
just got him in the door. Yeah.
Got him in the door. Listen to the rest of it. You want to listen to the Optimus Prime song again? Okay, let's do it, y'all.
I love it.
It's
Oh
true. It's
god.
true.
Oh man. Oh, okay. So this is your favorite song. I honestly, because you didn't even say it, I thought it would have been "Glory to the Veins." You said that's a favorite too, but you
This
said
and
this
Glory to
is
the Veins. I think just for the power of them, and again, if I think of it in the context of like a performance, I can really picture this as almost the closing, right? Because Rear View, the way Rear View comes in, it's almost like a coda or an outro, right? You could
yeah.
have that as sort of like this closing kind of an epilogue type thing. Whereas I think of the Redux as kind of like the more significant or the more, I don't know what you would call it, like the kind of, you would write the end after it, then you would sort of have Rear View come in as an epilogue. And then to have like on a performance somebody like Daniel Watts come out, give this performance with the music in the background, feels like it sort of ends, if you will, the story that's been told in a really moving and powerful way, because it doesn't pull any punches. It doesn't beautify anything. It doesn't say everything's going to be okay. It says, like you said, wake up, America. It says it powerfully. Like, this is not nothing. Nothing has been magically solved by me writing these songs or by Jimmy Lee's death, right? This is a problem that persists and is ongoing, and ending it sort of in this way. And Rearview does something very similar, right? It's not a beautiful, like, your life is in your rear view. It is not this beatific sort of an ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it poses the rear view poses a very important question of how can I change the world, but I can't change myself.
Yes. Yes.
God, where the mic at?
All right, it's been great. Y'all have a good time.
Even
Good
that
night.
how can I please the world but not God himself? How can I lead the world when I'm scared to try? Why should I need the world? We all gonna die. So, and that's the existential questions that that kind of everybody fights with at some point, if not the whole of their lives. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
And it's not Raphael's voice.
At all.
The fact that he is not doing the vocals for this
Mm-hmm.
track feels really significant too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that. I think it's a meaningful thing when the lead vocalist kind of, like we talked about this last time with "You Are the Sunshine of My Life," right? I think it's a meaningful choice and an evocative choice when the lead artist decides to step back at an important part of an album and say, "I'm gonna give this to somebody else."
It's like Jared's kind of like with music, with Moment in Life, which is one of his most powerful songs. He's in the background.
Yep. Yep.
CeeLo and Kindred is in the front.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Know where your position is on the record.
and it's probably his most powerful record out of his whole catalog.
Agreed.
To me.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh Lord. Yes. Get with it. Now we at rear view. We at the outro. Oh, the rear view. I was like, yo, this is funny. I thought when it started, it was like it sounded like Alicia Keys' girlfriend. Dun, dun,
The organ.
dun, dun, like the beginning of it. Dun, dun. I was like, okay.
Where are we going?
Right. I was like, dun, dun. I'm like, okay. And like you said,
For the
Adam,
beginning of Brooklyn Zoo.
yeah,
Like, is this ODB? Okay.
right. But yeah, it was just like this felt like an outro. Like it felt like the end. You know what I mean? Like it was like after all of this dark, it's heavy. We're gonna come to a close. You know what I mean? Like we need that. As heavy as this album was, we need something like so. Actually, them keys kind of got me up a little bit after all of the heaviness that we got from this. So you're right. This definitely felt like an outro for real with Rear View for real. Just
Yeah.
just that. So that's what I got from the joint for real. It was like, whoo, let's move it on out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I got musically from it. So that's me.
And like
Yeah.
you point out, at least it ends with questions, right? It ends with questions, not answers.
Yeah.
And I like that. You're gonna make a statement album. You don't end it with answers, right? You end it with these questions to put forth. You end it with something that is, I think, reflective and curious. And I think it does a really nice job of that. And Kendrick's voice on it as well. Just adds such
Yeah.
a. I mean, you know, he's got a unique voice, and the placement of this song here, to bring his voice in at the end, I really think it complements it really well. It creates this really cool. I don't know that it's not Raphael again. That he's not only bringing in another voice, but the particular one that he's choosing to bring in, like you said, Elise, like one of the few people that is writing music that has something to say.
Yeah. That also becomes popular. See, it's
Right,
it's
right.
lots and lots of people, just like we bring up on shows and be like, nobody's doing bridges and nobody's doing that. When we say that, we mean
Exactly,
popular,
Right.
exactly.
out front,
Plenty of
Right.
what's
people are
being
doing it.
pushed. Not we don't mean in the way that no one is doing. No, it's plenty of people. If that were the
Yep,
case, I wouldn't have no music list like or
yep,
shows to go to if that were the case.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
just
completely agree. Yeah, yeah. The popular music that is being listened to by a lot of people. Because
mhm,
you can find it, you can seek it out, you can find it, and if you know the artist, it's out there for sure.
Yeah.
mhm. And you don't have to look as hard as some people think. It's real easy. It's real.
It really
It's
is.
so easy.
Hmm.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
Yeah. Just the
So
more.
this is an outro song, right? But so one complaint I have about this album is, um, I love Angel. I think Angel's a really good song. I don't think it has any place on this album. Like it's a hidden track on the vinyl.
Oh, okay. See, I
Oh,
didn't.
okay. Yeah. See, I did.
Do we not? Okay, my bad. Okay,
No,
so
no, no.
the
Please, because
vinyl,
I didn't know. So, with
the
Angel, this is
vinyl
okay.
puts Angel on there, right?
Okay.
Raphael Saadiq's Angel,
Uh-huh.
which is I love that song, but it feels really out of place on this album, even though it's a hidden track. My feeling was they just wanted to get it out there because I don't know if it was released on anything else. I don't think it has been. Um, but they just wanted to get it out there, and so they put it on this album. But to me, this is such a concept album, and in that way, I think Angel must have been written years before any of this. In that way, it feels like it doesn't fit to me.
Oh, oh, I. It was in Marvel's Luke Cage.
Yeah, yeah, it was from Luke Cage, which I think was like around 16, 17.
Uh-huh.
Uh huh. 8 years
And
ago.
so, yeah.
I pulled it up on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's a great song. It's so the streaming services, I think Apple Music and Spotify do not have it.
They
So
don't.
one of the things I love about Saadiq is he does hidden tracks, right? And on Stone Rollin', he's got a hidden track on the answer, and Spotify has it. Like if you look up the answer, if you look up Stone Rollin' on Spotify, the answer's playtime is like 9.5 minutes long because there's a hidden track. Um, and I think that there was one somewhere else I can't remember, but they don't include Angel for some reason on the streaming services, but the vinyl's got it.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay.
But it was written before. It was written. It must have been written 2, 3 years before the rest of the album. So
No,
I don't know
longer
why.
than that. No, longer than that. Because I'm looking at videos of it on YouTube, and they're from 8 years ago. So yeah, a
Well,
few
eight
years.
years ago was
19.
17. This album came out in 19.
Right.
No. I had to correct myself. You're right. My,
Yeah.
I was like, care to one? Yes, you're correct.
Because in my mind, 2017 was 2 years ago. Is the thing. In my mind, 1993 was about 10 years ago. So, so we got. I have a whole other time frame. Okay. And COVID, it doesn't count. There's got a little asterisk next to it. So 2000 through 20 through 22 don't count. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Time is, mm-mm.
Time is a construct, but yes, yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he threw Angel on. They threw Angel onto the vinyl, and I'm glad I have it because it is a really nice song. Um, but to me, it's not this
Couldn't
album.
listen to it now. Yeah, it wouldn't have. So as a hidden, that makes sense. Like just I just had to put this on something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get it out there somewhere somehow.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. It wouldn't have fit off the strip that it's a 5 minute song. That would have.
Right?
Right.
Don't play sitting here. They'd have to cut that down. Minute 30.
Right. Right.
And
Just
that's all
cut
got
out
a
the bridge.
bridge. That wouldn't have fit. That's all
Yeah,
got a
cut
whole
out the
bridge.
bridge. There you go. You'll take care of it right there.
Mhm.
Catch it. But yeah. Oh. So I'm glad we talked to I got a different different perspective.
Oh
Appreciate
yes.
this in a different way now.
Me too.
Um, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And when I think, and I'll tell you, when I had that epiphany, that I could see some sort of dance
Yeah.
along with a nice weird art installation, and thinking of it in that context of like a performance, it changes this album for me. See, good talk.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? I saw it as a play, you saw it as a dance, but one way or the other, we both sort of see a performance aspect to the larger
Hmm.
story that's being told. Because to
Mm-hmm.
your point, sonically, nah, not his best album, to be sure. Lyrically, message wise, I think a really important album, a really
Yeah.
meaningful album. Personally,
Hmm.
for him, I'm sure, absolutely. But to a broader audience, I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
needed. It's needed. It was needed for him anyway. You know what I mean? Like he needed, like you said, the whole show. He had to get this out, and he did. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So he can always look back and be like, okay, I got my feelings and emotion out that I needed to do, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was
yeah.
holding this for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and now I let it out, so I'm good. You know what I mean? And I did it in an artistic way. So
Well, and you know what interests me too is once he finished this album, I got to see the tour. It's a great tour. I saw him play here in Portland. I think it was February 27, 2020. So I saw him like 3 weeks before lockdown.
mhm.
He's the one who put me on to Jamila Woods too, because she opened up for that show. Um, but one thing I noticed too is after this, and I'm sure that tour got cut short with COVID, but he's been really working on piano for the last several years. He said he's been taking like 3 lessons a week. He's been playing a lot. He's been practicing classical music, and I find that he does this album. He does this album. He's working on a lot of other things at the same time, right? With Solange and Cowboy Carter eventually. So he's working on a ton of different stuff in a ton of different ways. But then personally, for him to take this venture into, getting much more into piano, and really diving into that sort of, and leaning on D'Angelo a lot for that as well, he said, and then being really immersed in piano. And he's always had really eclectic music interests. He's always had really varied and wide music interests. But now talking about classical as well, I get really curious after doing an album like this and then going to that personal journey musically. I get really curious about what he's going to do next
Oh yeah, me too.
because I have no idea what it's going to be, right?
Mm.
I would
Don't
love
know.
another The Way I See It, but it's not going to be.
No, no.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no.
he did that, and that was amazing for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But what is next?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. But it's almost like there's a developmental arc you could see, like with the musician, right? And this being a personal piece in the way that it was, and then doing that sort of deep dive into learning another instrument in a really deep and intimate and personal way. It makes you really curious about what is sort of inside of him to express.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. Wow, this was a very good discussion.
Was
Mm.
it ever?
Are
What?
they ever bad with you both?
No, but no,
That's
Yeah.
this
what I
because
thought.
it's
That's
like
what I
you
thought.
check.
It's special. And I think you know what. To be fair, I think on this show or just in our lives, sometimes we get so caught up in the mechanics, the music, and
Mhm.
this instrument, and we kind of sometimes miss the bus on what the artist is trying to say because we kind of get
Mm-hmm.
caught up in that,
Yeah, yeah.
and and that's a metaphor for something too. So
That's right.
insert metaphor here. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
So today we do not have my favorite part of the show, the word association. I just couldn't pull it together, and I like it to. And I think we kind of touched on talking because I was going to do Raphael Saadiq albums and go through it, but we kind of have touched on them through the talking about this, and it just feels
Yes.
redundant to me. As much as I love word song association, and Adam will be back a bunch more times, so we'll do a bunch more.
Yeah.
It's on. Yeah, there you go, sis. Thank you. It's recorded. Adam
Yeah,
has no choice.
and I really do enjoy. Oh gosh, talking to you like it's
Yes, because the way we
was
broke down that Stevie's talking book, I couldn't have did that with nobody else. Mm-mm.
This is really, I mean, this is a hell of a way to spend a Saturday morning, I will tell you that.
I'm telling
It's
you.
so much
I'm
fun.
telling you.
It is
Like,
so much fun. It is so much
yes.
fun. I do, I said it last time. I feel like there's an importance to what you both are doing in sharing this music, but also like we're saying, something emerges out of conversation, right? Something emerges out of conversation because a lot of times we listen to these albums just on our own, in a set of headphones on, and in the car or whatever. We listen to it on our own. When we share it with other people and we sort of talk about the experiences and connect, right? Because now I love this album, but now I have this other connection to it with you and your grandma, JR, that is always going to be with me, and
Yes.
that adds a layer to it. It adds a layer
Yes.
to it of importance and meaning, and I'll remember that every time I hear this album. I'll be like, yeah, yeah, and that's a really beautiful thing. And I think the music grows in that way, and that's what I could just sit here and talk about music forever, but I think talking about it in the way that y'all do, it lets something else really emerge from it, which it adds so much.
We be having just a lot of cold case. Like that's what we call it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know how you said that you thought this was a play. How I was tongue tied, and that's hard for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm speechless, and I'm like, I have nothing to say, and everybody know you, Adam, you and Elise, y'all be this. So you was like a play. I was like, damn, Adam fucked me up. Like, I have nothing to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all both saw this more as a visual thing. It would be
Yeah.
more visual. And I think if he would have did, maybe a little movie with it, that would be dope too. Raphael, if you do a movie of it, come on, let us get a little bit of change of that.
He's got
just like we didn't get no visual for Ray Ray, and that's visual. I think that album would have resonated differently as a whole had we gotten the
Mhm.
visuals, but we
True,
didn't.
true,
Mhm.
true.
Like
Very
He's
true.
got
you don't give me a soundtrack uh concept album with no film.
I was so confused, by the way, when I would
And,
looked all over for that movie.
and
We
I
maybe
was
it
said
like,
was
where
that
is
supposed
this
to
movie?
happen.
Where is it?
And maybe it
This
was
is pre IMDb too, I think.
Yeah. And maybe it was supposed to happen. And it just didn't
Oh,
the
right,
pieces
right.
didn't come together. Maybe the money won't right. Who knows? Or shoot, maybe he had moved on artistically something else, who knows?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
We'll
True,
never know unless we ask him. So
true.
He's got on the album. The album's great if you can get the vinyl. He's got pictures of family in there. All four of the siblings that he lost, plus his mother, are in
Mm-hmm.
there. And he also, I can't remember which arm it is, but all four of his siblings are tattooed on his arm. Um, all four of the siblings that he lost are tattooed on his arm. This 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 is an album about a broader message, and it's also a very personal album. I mean, this is telling stories of pain and loss that I think are incredibly powerful and meaningful. Um,
yeah, we got to peek into his journal,
yeah,
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, so Adam, we hate to tell you goodbye, but before you leave,
Mm.
if you want folks to find you, tell them how to find you or anything else that you would like to leave us with before you.
Okay, I'll leave with one thing because I forgot about it last time.
Sure.
I was really fortunate to. So I mentioned that I'm a psychologist in my spare time. One of the areas that I focus on and work on a lot is first generation college students, the experience of first generation college students. And so this is people whose parents didn't go to college. And that's an area of interest and focus for me. And I was very fortunate to be the editor and a contributor to a book called Know That You Are Worthy, Experiences from First Generation College Students. It's a really beautiful thing. There's about 31 essays in there from first generation college graduates, kind of telling their story, talking about what it was like to go to college. Real wide variety of people and experiences. People who went to community colleges, Ivy League schools, state schools, all sorts of different experiences. Non-traditional students, people who stopped and went back later at an older age, whatever it is. So if you know anybody in your life who is a first generation college student, I kind of feel like community helps and reduces the isolation and the challenge of being in that experience. So it's worth looking at.
Yes.
That's my plug.
No, that's dope. Well, we thank you once again, and we hope to see you real, real soon. And this also heavy. I don't even have no funny, punny outro. I would encourage people to go listen to it and at least get the message and, just examine it. You don't have to run it every day and play it. I don't think you could. That's pretty heavy, but you should at least, check it out, give it a chance. I went into it. I didn't like it at first, and I revisited it, and I got what I needed from it.
Mm.
So,
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. So on that note, we will catch y'all on the next Catch That.
Peace.
Thank you.